Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends, and glad you could attend. Step inside, movie maniacs and friends, as we take a look at Eternal Code. Now, Eternal Code is brought to us by Harley Whalen, who wrote, directed, and even co-stars in this film about two companies who come up with a prototype of technology that allows you to basically transfer your consciousness into the brain of another person. It's the eternal fountain of youth, at least the potential, but Bridget, who's the head of one of the two companies, does not like the moral practices of their partners, and soon after she pulls the plug to a merger that would have happened and the breakthrough of the technology announcement to the world, well, bad things happen to her and she ends up getting kidnapped and there's murder involved. Enter in Corey, who is a homeless vet with a heart of gold who's just trying to get by, who ends up allying with the daughter of Bridget, and Corey, along with his friend Stephanie, try to come up with a plan to rescue Bridget, who's been kidnapped, just before this merger is to happen, and the evil Oliver of the company pushes Bridget out permanently. This film was interesting in that I wasn't quite sure where it was going, and for indie films like this, especially with thrillers, it is a tough sell sometimes because you're working on limited budgets and such. But let me tell you, Harley Whalen really puts together a very interesting film, and I was actually intrigued in how this was going to play out. The script that they have in here is actually involved for a production like this. You have very multiple locations. You got a large cast of characters in this film, all keeping things visually interesting, and the film surprisingly moves along quite a bit. It does stumble a little bit in the middle. I think there's a little bit of repetition of when Corey goes out to investigate and comes back to the apartment, goes out and comes back again. But it fit the story. It was just a little bit repetitive to me, but that was okay because I was wondering how things were going to play out. Now, Richard Tyson plays Oliver, the bad guy, if you will, of this film. Loved to see him on screen, and he plays it to the hilt. Really is one of those characters that you know is shady, and he's just not on the up and up at all. This is just not a good guy. I really loved his performance in here. Mel Novak shows up as well. Always great to see him on screen, and he puts in a solid performance. I enjoyed seeing him again quite a bit. And Katie Whalen plays the Stephanie character, who is the prostitute who befriends Corey, played by Damien Chinapi, and I hope I pronounced that right. And I love the chemistry between these two and how their characters interact. All these great elements are in this film. Yes, it is an independent film, so it may not be quite up there, but the production value here I thought was still fairly high for the type of film it was. One of the couple of the standout characters that I also liked in here was Harley Whalen in front of the camera as Sam. I thought he was very interesting and put on a great performance. And Scout Taylor Compton, I would love a movie just with her character in it. She plays Charlie, and I loved how she plays this out. She's one of the kidnappers, and really, I could have watched a lot more of that character on screen. So you got a lot of great elements in here. Now, again, this, while it isn't, huge, big studio production, I think there's a lot of great stuff in here and a lot of merit that will keep you interested, especially if you like thrillers and like this. But the only thing I will say is there's a few scenes in the beginning where we're introduced to the Corey character and how much of a heart of gold he has, and how he likes to help his fellow man even though he himself is down on his luck. And there's just some dialogue in here with the daughter and her friends that I maybe would have liked to be handled just a little bit different, because it came off just a little bit much like a PSA But other than that, overall, I enjoyed Eternal Code. In all honesty, a lot more than I thought I might. And I think if you like an indie film and you're looking for something a little different, then this film is for you. It definitely has a very solid ending that will put you on the edge of your seat. So there you have it, folks. Eternal Code. Love to hear your thoughts on this movie. If you've seen it, please check out our Patreon. I'd love to hear. Get your support for our Patreon so we can bring you even more great content. Subscribe if you haven't already. I thank you for your support, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.